Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another installment, another episode. We've come back to give you our SummerSlam predictions for this weekend. SummerSlam is the second biggest show of the WWE calendar. It's the biggest party of the summer, and we're going to drop our predictions on you guys. But first and foremost, how is everyone doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for SummerSlam, baby. Let's go.
Very good. So we will be having, just an FYI, we will be having a guest join very shortly, but we thought we'd talk about some things that have been happening in wrestling really quickly first before we jump into our predictions. So can I just start off with the obvious elephant in the room here? Tony Khan and Shane McMahon having a meeting together. Can I just say the funniest meme that I have seen from that is that Tony Khan looks like he's meeting somebody at a convention and Shane McMahon's just like the person that Tony Khan's meeting. It's so funny, the picture, I swear to God. Like the way
it is an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Just because like how long Shane's been in like the wrestling business. Like Tony Khan is obviously a fan of him because he's been a fan of wrestling for years. So it's like he's obviously a very important businessman, but at the same time he's like, oh my God, it's Shane McMahon.
It would be so hard not to mark out in that moment, I swear to God. Like it would honestly be so incredibly difficult. Ross, I can tell, I can see the fumes coming from your head.
No. The best meme you saw is where it looks like Tony Khan is meeting someone at a convention. The best one I see was someone did a throwback where it's WCW, where it goes, I'm the owner of Dynamite now, and it's freaking Shane there. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm just like, I don't want this.
It's the first thing that I thought of as well. Yeah, I can see a storyline coming. Like maybe Shane and the Bucks take over Dynamite or something.
Or even he becomes like an authority figure or like a general manager.
I don't want it. I genuinely don't want it. I don't want a McMahon in the AEW sphere. I get it. I get the idea. He's in the business so long. It's a great business opportunity. But that last name is notorious with another person that has caused too much BS. And
you do know he's the only person that hasn't been named in the case, right? Like he's out of all of the people in the family, he's not even involved in it. He's like, no.
No, but that's what I'm saying is I know it's not Shane's fault, but because of the last name that is around him,
it's
going to be difficult for AEW to get other sponsors if the association is
I'm surprised. I know this is like completely off. It's on subject, but it's off subject. I'm surprised that Stephanie McMahon came back as Stephanie McMahon and didn't like come back with like triple threat. They're married, aren't they? So
yeah. I think it's just because history. Like if you're notoriously known as that character,
I know
people are only going to know you as that character. If you came out as Stephanie Levesque, they're going to be like,
who the fuck?
That name carries a lot of weight in the wrestling world as well. For good or for bad, it carries a lot of weight.
I think when it comes to that picture, and I think when it comes to what people have been saying about it online, because I literally spent the entire afternoon after I got home yesterday from work just listening to what everyone had to say, like going in Raw, Wrestle Talk, Cultaholic, Watch Culture. I was literally listening to everybody because I was like, I want to hear everyone's thoughts. But I think my biggest takeaway from this entire thing is, my question is what does this achieve? Mm-hmm. What does it achieve that AEW couldn't achieve on their own? By bringing in a big name like Shane McMahon, is there not something that AEW can do by themselves? Because I feel as though, and I could be completely wrong on this, but I feel like a lot of the identity of AEW is not the same as what it once was, and I feel like they're trying to maybe emulate WWE too much, and that's no fault of anybody's. I think a business is allowed to evolve and change over time, but I just feel like bringing in somebody like a Shane McMahon, who we know, tore his quad at WrestleMania. Sorry, mate, but it did happen. And book himself real hard in the 2022 Royal Rumble for him to win it. Like, what is bringing in somebody like that going to achieve that you can't find creatively within somebody within that company already? Do you guys kind of?
It's really like to take what CM Punk said on Raw. It's really putting a hat on a hat. Like AEW has like been compared to WWE for so long. And obviously the fans of AEW are very against that. But then to bring in Shane McMahon to have a storyline possibly is like, it's like, no, come on, dude. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's needed. It goes all the way back to my opinion of it, what you were saying, Court, when you were saying what does it achieve. I don't care. And like, does it make me want to watch Dynamite any more or any less? Yes and no. Like, it's one of those things where I'm just not bothered about it. Like, if he shows up, I can pretty much see him probably working with the Bucks, something like that, or maybe being like the ally of Tony Khan. Either way, I'm not bothered. I just don't care.
It just feels like you'd bring him in for like one storyline, and then like, what do you do with him after that? Like that's exactly what they did with Ric Flair. That's exactly what they did with Flair with Sting. He came in for that, and then he was let go from his contract, even though he apparently had signed like a multi-year deal. So
he's not let go of the contract.
If there's no long-term no long-term reasoning for having somebody in the company, and you only want to do it for like a one-off thing, that's fine. But my biggest thing is like, we've been joking about, Shane meeting Tony for the longest time. I'd seen Photoshop pictures for so long, and then I saw that picture and I was like, oh, someone's just done a really great Photoshop. And then I zoomed in and realized it was 100% legit. And I think that was more or less what it was for. It was to get the internet's reaction and gauge how people are feeling before anything happens. But as I said, my biggest thing is, what does it achieve? In my eyes, it'll take time away from people who are actually actively working on that roster, who are trying to make the company better, because you bring someone like a Shane McMahon up, it actually instantly makes everyone else fall down. And I don't think people realize that. And it's really frustrating for me, because I'm like, sure, you can bring him in, but unless you've actually got something actively planned long-term for this person, and it's not going to affect the talent that are actively working for your company trying to make it better, that's what the statement that I keep thinking about is, what is it achieving? What is it achieving?
I'm interested to see like Ross's opinion on this, and he's the Dynamite guy or the AEW guy.
He's the Dynamite kid.
I mean, I also have the guest that will be here in a sec as well is also the Dynamite guy of us. He was
the Dynamite guy.
He was watching Dynamite just as I got him to join us. I don't think he's going to be a storyline. I don't think Shane McMahon's going to be an active wrestler. If anything this meeting came from, it's going to be a business agreement or a sponsorship deal between Shane McMahon and Tony Khan. As you said with the Ric Flair situation, Ric Flair, yes, he did have an active, a bit of on-screen work for a bit, but his multi-year deal was never for him to wrestle. It was It was always for the Woo Energy, and that's still there. The Woo Energy sponsorship is still there. It's still being actively put on for Collision more than Dynamite now, from what I've seen. But it is still there. And I think you are right with saying it's the gauging of the internet to see what people are going to.
Yeah, it's putting the feelers out there.
Yeah, it's putting the feelers out there to see what could be said, what is going to be gauged. But you know what the IWC is. They're going to take any storyline they get, any new news come from these things, and really blow it out of proportion. I could see it going ridiculous with situations going forward, and we'll just have to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, Keaton is here. Hello, Keaton.
The other thing, hi, Keaton.
What's going on, dude? Just in time.
What were you going to say, G?
I was going to say the other thing that I don't know if people saw this afternoon, but they announced the date for Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah.
And
is it another War Games?
Officially a War Games again, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Can we just have
November?
Why? It's going to be a civil war. What are you so mad about?
Bitch, I wanted Diane versus Brand.
The rest can be a War Games, right? Surely?
Yeah, but I'm actually so pissed off right now.
No. Surely you can do Brand. I feel like you can still do Brand versus Brand, but have a War Games at the end.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
They can do War Games and Brand versus Brand with other matches.
I just don't want them to beat the whole War Games thing so far into the ground that nobody ever wants to see it again. That's my problem.
No, I get that.
So much of a good thing.
I am getting there. I'm not going to lie. I am getting there with War Games.
That's literally why I reacted the way I reacted, because my feeling is I don't want them to beat it so much to a pulp where nobody wants to fucking see a War Games anymore.
I get where you're coming from, but the storyline, this time the storyline has genuinely built itself to arguably be one of the most strongest War Games we've had.
Get that, but can we just have a regularly advertised Survivor Series with a War Games attachment for the Bloodline?
there's not saying
Oh my
it's
goodness.
not going to be that. I get where you're coming from, where the frustration is. I don't want the War Games to be the main focus. I get that 100%. As I always refer back to, one of my favorite ever pay-per-views was Survivor Series when it was Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and they all went
I
at
do
it.
like that.
I loved the fact they put Keith Lee over in that whole group. I'm sorry, like you're putting new talent in the ring against like the veterans, and they're like, no, we're going to put the new talent over. It's a great way to show it, and I get where you're coming from and saying that's why you enjoy Survivor Series. I feel like War Games as a concept, I wish they did it the NXT style of it's a pay-per-view on its own. It should be its own thing. They need to separate it away from Survivor Series. I get why it's attached to Survivor Series because the schedule and everything, and it makes sense with the name like Survivor
They've
Series.
probably got
because you're
a
going
match
to war.
ready going into it.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed because the potential of them to have Gunther versus Cody Rhodes versus Ethan Page. Like, bitch.
Oh, no, I'd love that. Yeah, no, I would, yeah, give me that.
Come on.
I'll take
But we
that.
think
could
that
still
you've,
get that because I think the War Games is going to be bloodline based.
Yeah, of course. But I understand what everyone else is saying. I think War Games can honestly stand on its own feet as a pay-per-view. I think you should probably have it maybe mid to late December, just before Christmas. And Survivor Series should just go back to Raw, SmackDown, and even featuring NXT. Like I always loved Survivor Series. A bit controversial. It's probably my second favorite pay-per-view of the year back in the day.
Yeah, valid.
I agree.
I love the brand. I see a lot of people complaining about how the whole brand supremacy thing only comes around once a year. No one cares apart from that. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but you could say the same about like football. Like when a derby day comes around, they don't play football against each other every single week. But when it is, it's intense. It's great.
Yeah.
So I never understood that logic of it.
But the thing with the Summers, like where Survivor Series is scheduled, is they used to have the draft like 3 weeks before Survivor Series. And if you've had someone who's just wrestled on SmackDown for an entire year get drafted to Raw, no shit, they're not going to care about the brand they're a part of because there's no alliance there. But because the draft now happens in April and Survivor Series happens in November, that's enough time for you to want to push for your brand to do
For
well.
the brand again. Yeah.
But hey, what do I know? Keaton, what do you think about the whole Shane McMahon, Tony Khan picture?
Because that was definitely leaked.
Yeah.
I honestly think it could just be for publicity for All In. Maybe he gets, maybe he's paid, like for an appearance or something. Maybe bring that potential of Tony Khan with a special guest type of thing. Just to try and because I think they've only sold like 45,000 and there's another like 15,000-20,000 left. So
maybe you can tear his quads at Wembley as well. That'd be great.
Yeah. But if he does get Shane, it does kind of open it up, doesn't it? Really, to the good old days.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do the whole thing of I'm now the owner of Collision, and it turns it into Dynamite vs. Collision.
He turns it into Collision Underground.
Oh God, I forgot.
Wait.
I forgot that booking. Oh my lord.
Very good.
I can't take credit for that. I have to give that to Stephen Larson. That was like,
fair. I forgot that. That left my brain.
Shane McMahon takes over Collision. No one notices because no one's watching it.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean, there is one last news that I don't know if many of you other guys seen, but I think it's worth mentioning.
Okay.
Julia had a match on July 30th for Marigold and stated on August 19th that will be her last match in Japan because she will be starting with NXT straight after.
Let's go! That's what I'm talking about.
New Revolution. We'd be getting Julia. We'd be getting Stephanie Vaca. We've got Delta coming in. We've potentially got Jordan Grace at some point because her contract's actually been altered. So now she finishes earlier. Bro, we've got like 4 new horsewomen coming in. Like,
hell yeah. It's a good time to be an NXT fan, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, true.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I I also love the fact we're getting the Battle of the Joes for next week on NXT. I think that's actually...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, the Battle of
I was
the
like,
Joes.
Samoa Joe's can be back to NXT.
I fucking wish, man. That would be even
We
more
could
funny.
dream.
Triple threat of
Yeah.
the Joes, Samoa Joe.
It's a triple. It's a fatal four-way. You got Samoa Joe versus Joe Hendry versus Joe Coffey versus Joe Gacy.
Oh my god.
That's a Joe off.
It's a joke.
And then special guest referee is Roman Reigns, aka Joe.
They don't advertise it as Roman Reigns. It's just a guy who's just dressed normally. It's like, hey,
He's
my name is
Joe in a shirt.
He comes out. He says, "My name is Joe," and that's it.
Just looks
All
at
right.
him like, you look really familiar.
Shall we jump into
seen
the
you
predictions then?
Yeah,
We shall jump into the predictions for SummerSlam. So, G, would you like to quickly go over the rules for the predictions challenge for this year and go through the scores so we know where we're at?
Well, I'm sure Keaton's pretty familiar with them, as I'm pretty sure he's been on before.
Yeah.
I've been
but
roped
yeah.
back in because the guests have been doing quite bad, apparently. So
Yeah, looks like
I
it.
need to pick it up because apparently it's a snooze fest at the moment with two people.
I just
top
can I
all
just
the
say
time.
I
So,
Hey, I'm telling you what, though. I'm telling you what. 7 points up for grabs this weekend, though. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right, so as it stands after Money in the Bank, we are in 5th place, Ross with 22.5 points. In 4th place are the guests with 29 out of 46 points. In 3rd place is me with 34 out of 46. And joint first is Reese and Courtney, both on 36 out of 46.
Let's go.
Right, speaking of, let's go for Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental.
Never
Championship.
heard him do that noise in my life.
It's a mad dog. He's got the dog in him.
I just thought,
did you see him
Anyway.
on Pat McAfee's show today?
No, I
Was
didn't.
it?
No.
He was on. All right, so they had a
no.
skit. They had a skit with like a Sami Zayn fan. They had like a sign up saying like, "Oh, Bron Breakker sucks" or something, and they're like in some auditorium or something like that, like some sports hall. And you basically see Bron run from like halfway and just
Oh my
steer this
God.
geezer through the door.
Oh, yes.
With Pat and everybody in the background go, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yes.
I love it.
I love that.
Before we get into this, I actually did see that this is completely off subject, but it does link into it. Goldberg had an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and Chris was asking about Goldberg. Oh, not Goldberg, Bron Breakker. Oh my God, it's too early in the morning for this. Chris was asking Goldberg about Bron Breakker. There we go, Courtney. That is a whole sentence. And was basically like, why is this spear so good? And he was like, well, he's been in the NFL. Of course it's going to be that good. Like, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
This is true.
So what's
obviously-
Goldberg's excuse for having a bad one?
Goldberg doesn't have a bad spear. It's like the only good thing that he ever did.
Anyway. So Bron Breakker is
Besides
challenging
lasting
Sami
30
Zayn
seconds in the
again
match.
for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to go to Keaton first for his predictions on this one. What do you think about this match?
Well, I looked up just recently, like about like 10-15 minutes ago, and apparently it's a triple threat from what I was seeing.
You're fucking
Wait,
kidding.
what? Have they
I was
changed it?
it was on some website. There was some. Let me get the website back up.
Who was the
Why would
first
it be a triple
person?
threat? Sorry, I'm looking this up right now. Why would it be a
Wait,
triple
no,
threat?
it could be with Ilya.
CBS Sports says that it's a triple threat and says Ilya's the third contender.
Hold on, let me look.
Why is Ilya in it? That's just not unnecessary. You don't need him in
Obviously,
there.
I don't know if it's 100%, but this is just taken from CBS.
Right.
So
They got their shit
Wait.
wrong, clearly. Hold
Wait,
on.
if it's
I
CBS,
haven't
I mean,
seen
if
that
it's
on
CBS,
WWE socials.
Oh, I don't care about a goddamn
CBS. CBS, more like BS. Am I right? Wait.
Hold on. This has got me really annoyed now if this is a triple threat. There's absolutely no need.
and
No,
but
there's not.
the article was on the 30th, so it was yesterday. So I don't know, but
Oh my God.
I was just looking
Watch
to see.
him
like,
announce it on SmackDown or something.
Trips.
But as of right now,
no,
it
buddy.
is just Sammy versus Braun, and if it,
So let's just talk about it from that perspective.
Yeah. I think it's time to give Braun a title. It has to be. I think he's just at that point where if you don't utilize him, it'll kind of feel like an LA Knight kind of feel right now, where he was at the pinnacle and he just fell off. And I think, you just pull the trigger on Braun. It's self-explanatory. You get the run backs with Sammy anyways. You get the run backs with Ilya, and then you can just open him up into the whole of that SmackDown. Is he on SmackDown? Isn't he? SmackDown.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that SmackDown roster. So, for me, Braun takes it.
I like that.
Very good. Reese, what are your thoughts?
I'm a Keaton on this. I think it needs to be an absolute decimation of Sami Zayn. Like the whole storyline of Braun didn't take him seriously in the last match, he even admitted it. You've got the whole story of like Sammy's got his eye off the ball because he's been doing his comedy show, etc., while he's been in the gym. I would quite like to see like a decimation of Sami Zayn. Maybe like 5 spears. Maybe even a quick-ish match. Like I'm not saying like Goldberg quick, but like to the point where Sami Zayn maybe gets like one haluva kick in or something, but the rest is just Braun just absolutely tanking it and just spearing the crap out of him. I'd love to see it. But I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker. It is time. I don't see why you wouldn't put the IC title on him. You can really use like a great heel in the mid card there, like holding the IC title. I've always preferred like a heel holding a mid card championship. So mine's Braun.
Nice. G, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the same. I think Braun, I think it's his time. I think Sammy has been a great in-between champion, but I definitely think it's time for somebody new to take on that title and see some new matches with some new faces and stuff. Like, Braun's not long come up to the main roster. He's not faced many people in the mid-card of the main roster, so it's nice to see a fresh face versus other people. So, I definitely think Braun is the right choice here.
Nice. Ross, thoughts?
Well, if it does become the triple threat, I would put Ilya personally, because I think there's a storyline there of Ilya now. He's always been rivals with Gunther, so I think it'd be really interesting to see Ilya have a storyline where he's now going to carry on that rivalry of trying to beat Gunther's streak of keeping that belt with the IC title. But obviously, that's a whole to be confirmed stuff. So just going off the 1v1 situation, I have to give it to Braun. As Reese rightfully put, it's his time. It doesn't make sense that when they last had the fight at Money in the Bank, I still very much said Braun looked like the better guy. And it was very weird to me that Sami Zayn won clean on Braun. I think this match is going to be the one that we expected more, where it's going to be a bit of a messier finish, but Braun come out on top. And I'm still going to state the finish that I said for Money in the Bank is going to be the finish of this one, where Sammy goes to set up the haluva kick. As he goes and runs, you just see off camera out of nowhere, Braun just lands that spear. Like it does that quick camera shot of Braun's just speared him and gets the 1-2 for it.
Yeah, because that camera cut that they do, the one that's like the aerial view, that's only done for Braun. So do that again, because that will be, as soon as you see that aerial camera shot, you'll know instantly like this shit's over. But
exactly, and I think that's where a lot of that storyline is going to come into play. Is will Braun hit the spear or not? Because I think that's one of the only things Sammy really did fear in the last match they had with Money in the Bank, because he tried to work around Braun not getting distance from him. So I think they'll play into that a lot.
I agree. I'm with you guys. I was really disappointed when they didn't pull the trigger on Braun at Money in the Bank. For me, it just kind of felt like it made sense. But obviously since then, they've done a really great job at showing how menacing and how cowardly Braun Breaker is, which I'm really thrilled by. I loved his promo on Raw this week. I think I said in the review, if you give him literally 2 minutes to actually say something, like you'll be genuinely convinced why he deserves to be champion. I think Braun Breaker is taking this. And I think one thing that we're completely overlooking as well, too, is that this has done a really great job at actually showing Sami Zayn can be a serious character. But also, if they are going to be going towards the War Games style of Survivor Series, if they are going to be doing Bloodline, this frees up Sami to go and work and do that, because I think we saw last week that, him and Jay have found their way back to each other. So that's a great planting the seed moment to have that old bloodline come back together. So if Sammy has the title taken off him at SummerSlam, that frees him up to go ahead and do all of that stuff, which if we get into later on what we think is going to happen in terms of some returns, that might help towards that timeline. So I think best way to do this is we'll stick with the mid-card titles and then we'll go into the main event titles. So we'll go for Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. Now, I'm just going to say I feel like we have been waiting for this match since last year's Money in the Bank. That was when it initially got teased. Yeah. And the fact that we've had to wait this long for them to finally, A, put the match together, B, make it official, and C, have the build-up that it has. I'm actually really grateful that we're finally getting it. So I think we're going to go to G first for her predictions on this one. So what do you think is going to happen?
So it's a tricky situation because I really, really want LA Knight to win. But there's so many of these matches tonight that I want the non-champion person to win. And I just feel like WWE are not in a position to do that. So there's going to be some points where we're going to be disappointed that the person we want to win isn't going to win. And I really, really want LA Knight to be in. He's over. I feel like they're fumbling him so much to the point where he's going to become irrelevant as soon as he gets a championship. And because he's like, I don't know how to explain it, but you guys know what I mean. And I feel like because of that and how far in they are with him, he's not going to win. And the fact that they're in Cleveland, which I believe is where Logan Paul's from, right?
Yeah.
I can't see Logan Paul losing at this point. So I'm going to go with Logan, but I'm really sad because I really want LA Knight to win.
And that's fair enough.
I'm going to go with Logan.
I feel like, quickly to your point, I feel like WWE really knows how to book a babyface chasing a title, but then they don't know how to book them once they've won the title. And we've stated this on multiple occasions. And honestly, I reckon we could dedicate an entire podcast to this because there's been so many examples, especially even in the last 5 years where this has happened. So it's just...
I mean, it's just wrestling in general. They always struggle how to actually book a babyface after a babyface wins.
It's weird, right? That, like, it's almost like they don't know how to book a cool babyface. Like they always make them say cringy stuff on the microphone and stuff. Like I don't get why it's so hard. I really don't.
Yeah, just be a down-to-earth normal person that's there for the crowd and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ross, what are your thoughts on this match?
So I'm the actual opposite of G. I think this is a perfect way to make Logan even more of a heel. They're going to be chanting more for LA Knight to win, and I think if Logan loses in his hometown, he's going to get monumental heat because he will turn on his home crowd, blame them, and then that will just make the absolute crowd erupt and just be so against him, and it pushes the agenda of okay, now Logan can be a menace to other people. I also kind of liked how they played into Santos and Logan kind of having a handshake agreement. Maybe Santos and Las Fantasmas' involvement in this match could happen. I see some shenanigans, but I still see LA Knight coming on top. The amount of time he's dodged Logan's punches, the amount of time he's shown his number, the amount of times he's hitting with that BFT. And I'm sorry, ever since LA Knight had that moment where he pinned Roman, but Roman's foot was on the ropes, I've been backing LA Knight to have a belt because he is that momentum. He is that hot right now that he just needs a belt. Or people are just going to sour at some point.
I think it's a case of people are just going to be like, why the fuck do I even keep rooting for somebody?
Exactly.
You know?
It's like...
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you're booking him the right way of booking him. The crowd's behind him. The crowd want it. But how many times are we going to root for the guy that's chasing for the dream and then never gets it?
Doesn't get it.
We literally had this with Chad Gable too.
Yeah, exactly. You want that payoff. But Chad for me made sense that he's now gone heel, and I think he'll win the belt at some point being a heel once he's done the Wyatt storyline. Also, that's another thing I'm going to bring up. I'm slightly annoyed of how they've set certain matches up that could have been on the SummerSlam card and they avoided putting them on the SummerSlam card. You could have put some on the pre-show. That's all I'm going to say.
It's already 7-match card, though.
Yeah.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is
It's a 3-hour pre-show.
Exactly. Instead of us,
pre-show, isn't it?
Just
3 hour pre-show.
They've made it 3 hours because they've chucked in some interviews, but people have said that they've made it 3 hours because it's going to line up with AEW television, so they're doing it to steer people away.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
And this is what I was trying to say is now knowing it's like 3 hours long of a pre-show, why don't you put the 2 tag matches you've got on for SmackDown?
We still have one more SmackDown.
They could do something.
What I'm saying is the 2 tag matches, so there are 2 title defenses on SmackDown before SummerSlam, should have got pushed to SummerSlam's pre-show.
I agree with that. I also think that the Wyatt versus Gable and the Creed should have been on SummerSlam as well.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Definitely. It shouldn't just be a throwaway, oh, next week on Raw they're going to fight. It's like you've built these new monstrous characters. I'm super excited to finally get to see him in the ring. But my point is, would you not want a bigger crowd, especially something like SummerSlam, where they could interact with so many of Firefly lights, all of this, and a massive crowd pop for them having their first match? Like
there's that, and I think it'd be apropos as well because that's when the Fiend debuted.
Exactly. That was my main point. I was like, he debuted at SummerSlam. I don't get how you don't put them on SummerSlam. Like,
I think you're still going to get a match though regarding them on the card. I still think that you're probably going to get Howdy versus Gable.
Or Sister Abigail versus Michael Cole.
Yeah, on the card. Because I think they'll just play into it. Because obviously, it's not really. If say for example, Gable and the Creed brothers beat him, it's still not the person he wants.
Yeah.
No.
Even though they're still attacking him, it's still not the guy that he wants. He's still chasing Howdy. So that obviously, it makes sense for them to put it on the card. Can I see them not doing it and delaying it, maybe to Survivor Series? Yeah, 100%.
Or Bad Blood.
Yeah,
but
Bad Blood makes so much more sense.
Yeah, but
sorry, what was the original? What was the original question? I forgot.
Oh, we were saying who I thought, but yeah, I also just wanted to make a point. There were other title matches that should be on this card.
Just to confirm, your prediction is LA Knight.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on topic. Reese, what are your predictions for this match here?
I think it needs to be LA Knight. To what you guys were saying, I think it's long overdue. I think that the fact that LA Knight is mega over and he's not got a championship yet is, I mean, they've done it before with things like Rusev Day, and we saw how that worked out when they just decided not to push Rusev. He fell down the card really quickly. People are going to stop investing in LA Knight if they think the company's not invested in him. I would quite like to see LA Knight win a championship, mainly because I think he could put on some great matches with other people in that mid card, like Santos and Carmelo Hayes, in the next couple of months with that championship. There's a lot of great heels on SmackDown that he can go up against. LA Knight maybe could break the mold of a face that is cool enough to hold the championship. I feel he's got the charisma to do it. But what I will say is in Cleveland, I think this poses the best opportunity for Logan Paul to stack the deck against LA Knight. I could totally see the Prime Bottle coming back for the big match and it being probably Jake Paul, seeing as though he's in Cleveland. Like you say, Legado.
Nah, it'll be Kai Cenat this time.
I could definitely see Legado getting involved. I don't know who would get involved on behalf of LA Knight. Maybe Cena. That'd be really cool.
Oh, yo, that's a show.
That'd be dope. Like, I can't even take credit for this because I saw a Cultaholic video. I can take the Cena bit as credit because I thought about that myself. But there was a Cultaholic video earlier this week where they were talking about how this could set up a match between Cena and Logan, maybe early next year, like the Rumble. Like if it costs him. I think that'd be dope. But yeah, LA Knight. I think it's his time. I think that SmackDown needs a face mid card champion. Just because I think like it's a nice little switch. There's a lot of heels in that mid card, so have a baby face. It makes more sense because there's more baby faces. Sorry, there's more heels and baby faces on that mid card roster.
Yeah, there is.
I agree. Keaton, what are your thoughts on this match?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm just going to piggyback off everyone else. you got to give him the title now. I think he's at a point now where his heat's going to probably be at the most he could get now.
Yeah.
And I think pulling the trigger just makes more sense. Let's be honest, he should have taken the title off Austin Theory last year.
Yeah.
And obviously with the fact that they've delayed it since then, it makes no sense. But like I says, it's the perfect time. He's in Cleveland. Logan's back hometown. You take it from him, like Ross says. You build up the fact that he's just taking the title from him in front of his family, in front of his friends, in front of his soon to be. Well, I don't know if she's married to him yet, but his wife with his kid. You know what I mean? It plays into everything, and I think it's time with everybody saying LA Knight.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you guys. I just think like this is the moment. It needs to happen. If it doesn't happen after this point, I think people are going to complain that their investment in a character does not have the return on investment in actually seeing them be a champion. And I think we've seen this a few times within the Triple H era. While I do love and praise my king, Triple H, I can call him out on his BS, and there has been times where this has happened that's pissed me off. He knows how over LA Knight is. Like, he knows. And if they choose not to push LA Knight in this moment and give him the title, I can definitely see either the IWC just completely exploding as something, crazy happens on the internet. We all go crazy about it. Or just people just stop watching and stop getting invested. Because that's the thing is, they want us to get invested in these characters, but then when they have that moment where, like, everything's written in the stars, basically, it's all lined up, ready to go, and they don't pull the trigger, and there's no legitimate reason in my mind as to be like, why can't we have that person be champion? Then it just doesn't make sense for me. But I'm really hoping this is LA Knight's moment, because I just feel like that would just be such a vindicating moment for him to be like, I've literally gotten the entire WWE universe behind me, just organically on my own, just by being me, without a title on the main roster. He obviously went from Max Dupree to this. I think it really just goes to show that, you can, if you put your mind to it and you really focus on yourself, you can actually get things done. Speaking of, let's go to Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World title. Now, I'm a little disappointed this isn't a custody of Dom Mysterio match. I'm not going to lie to you.
That was coming.
I'm not going to lie to you, but I feel like they could maybe have that happen at some point in time. So I'm just thinking, we're going to go to Ross first on this one here. I'm trying to spice it up a little bit.
You picked the Liv Morgan hater train first. That's going to
be... No, I'm trying to just spice up the order on the prediction.
I thought Court was the leader of that train. No, I'm joking.
Oh, no, she's
He's a conductor.
I'm just an assistant conductor.
Sure, guys. Throw me under the bus.
Hey, no. I'll stand on business. 10 toes in. I'll stand on business.
You threw on the tracks.
I don't enjoy this Liv Morgan situation. I still don't. I found it hilarious when she tried to do the whole fake crime when Dom was like, I hate you. I was like, at least someone said it to her. I've wanted to. Nah, in general, this feud, I just feel like it's been fun. But I saw it as more a comedy feud. I don't really get the intensity of the match that Rhea can have. I understand now Liv's doing this. Well, I've destroyed your thing. I'm going to burn and cut all your things, all of that. Rhea's like, how's that going to scare me? I'm the originator of that. That's my whole shtick. Like, I bet. Yeah. Let's just wrestle. And I think Rhea's just going to win. Like, I genuinely can't see Liv winning unless Finn Balor gets involved.
Can I say, to your point, when they were talking about stuff that got destroyed in the clubhouse,
did you see
that picture? Everybody else got destroyed except him. His shoes were fine. His stuff was fine. Everything was fine.
Can we just have a moment of silence for Carlito's PS5, though?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I saw this thing come up that was basically like, if Carlito goes into the clubhouse and there's an Xbox there, he'll look at it and go, that's not cool.
Not cool. I still love that Carlito looked at Rhea and went, you could get a PS5, right?
Brother, you're not even a part of the crew. Like,
why
are we begging for shit?
Like, the fuck? But no, like, on a real, like, I think this feud is very interesting for all the extended stuff outside of it, but Rhea and Liv, for me, just feels the throwaway part of it. I know it's the catalyst of, well, Liv took her out of commission for a while. We all know kayfabe now that she had a legitimate injury, but she also went and got married to Buddy. Like, we all knew that's where that was going to go. So it's like, in this situation now, I'm kind of just like, right, you've put together the parts to make the storyline, but the reveal of that storyline wasn't as impactful as I expected it to be.
It just ain't clicking for me, Chief.
Yeah. And I thought Rhea and Dom's scenario would have gone on a bit longer of her not trusting him too quick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels way too weird that she was just like, after a week of it, she was like, oh, yeah, no, you're forgiven. I was like, I don't know. In that scenario, it felt weird.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I think Finn's going to get involved, but I still think Rhea will retain, and then it's going to cause a situation where Liv and Finn will have their sub-branch with faction.
Is someone messing with the microphone or something? It's like, I can hear like a click thing.
I can hear it, but I ain't touching anything.
Is it me?
Oh. I don't know. I just heard something. I was like that.
I keep clicking it.
Oh, right, okay.
It could be me.
I think I lost you.
I'm done.
It might be. Stop being so silly, G.
All right, Keaton, what are your thoughts on this match?
I think this match is gonna go and coincide with Damien and Gunther. I think it's gonna how the ending of the Liv Morgan Rhea match is gonna decide how Damien Gunther finishes.
That's a shout.
I think there is the potential of if Liv Morgan comes out on top, Rhea's going to make sure Damien leaves with that World Heavyweight title. Whereas if it's the other way around and Rhea wins, Liv's going to make sure that Damien doesn't leave with that title. And I think that's how it's kind of going to work. Because let's just be honest, for the last couple of weeks, they are predetermining this whole split in Judgment Day. The whole Finn Balor, JD, and Liv. With then obviously Rhea, Damien, and potentially Carlito. You know what I mean? Like, put him in there. Like, he has been a lot of fun. But will they pull the trigger on that, though? It's sort of like it all depends on what Dom's going to do and how they're going to play Dom into this scenario. Because I think if you do it and he turns on Rhea, then it puts more heat than he's already got on top of him. He'll never be able to say a word ever again. You know what I mean? It has that potential of how they want to lead up to that. But we'll go more into Damien bit of thingy. I'll stay more on the thing with Rhea. I think personally, it kills me to say this. It really, really does. I think Liv beats her. I think Liv beats her just because I think they're just going to spate just a little bit more. I don't think they're going to end the feud right now. I think they're going to keep it going for a little bit longer, see how test Dom, and because Dom will be at that match and he decide of where he's going to put himself. And I think they'll play it to just a bit longer. So yeah, even though it kills me to say it.
I know. I'm going to keep mine really short and sweet when I get to it because I don't want to talk about this very much because it just emotionally hurts me. So, G, what do you think?
I'm on the same level. Like I said, all 4 world championships are up for grabs this pay-per-view, and not all 4 are going to change. So I've had to make my mind up on which ones I think realistically will change hands, and I don't think this is it. I think the Liv and Rhea story is going to carry on for much longer. There's so much going on with the Judgment Day and other people, etc. Liv, Dom, Rhea, Finn. There's so much going on that I feel like they could drag this out a bit longer. So I'm going to pick Liv to win, and that's all I've got to say.
Nice. Reese, thoughts?
There's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that Liv's retaining. I think it's 100% one of the easiest things to call on the card, just because I think it really feeds into the Judgment Day story. I can really see Dom turning on Rhea here, and then him and Liv making a quick exit to get out of the arena. Everyone in the Judgment Day is shocked or feigns being shocked. That later on, more on that later on. That she's just been screwed out of the championship, Obviously, Dom and Liv have run out of the arena. That no one knows where they are. Everyone's in like disarray. And then this leads on to Bad Blood, 100%. Liv Morgan. I'm going to go against the grain. I think Liv Morgan's been absolutely killing it since she won the championship. I think she's elevated the game to match the fact that she's in the main event there. I think her character development has been great. She's like a bit of a darker version of AJ Lee. I'm really loving the work that she's doing, and I was one of the biggest critics at the start of the year. Even after WrestleMania, I was one of the biggest critics, but she's really turned it around for me. This whole Liv and Dominic thing has been like the most interesting part of Raw for a couple of months, in my opinion, and I don't want it to end. And I think when Ross was saying like the fake tears from Liv Morgan, I think they were fake tears from Liv. I think that was intentional, and I think Dom saying that he hates her was fake as well. So I think he's going to pull double agent, turn on Liv, help Liv win the match, and get Liv Morgan retaining the title.
I'm not going to say very much because I'm looking at my Elimination Chamber Rhea Ripley poster and she's staring me down. Reese, you'll know the poster I'm talking about.
I know exactly the poster you're talking about.
And it's like breaking me internally that I have to say this, but I think Liv Morgan is retaining. I think Rhea gets screwed out of this, and it fucking breaks me to say that. It just hurts.
100%.
It just hurts.
I think it needs to happen. It definitely needs to happen.
It does need to happen if you want to stretch this out for a little bit longer. But yeah, I just
definitely
don't want to talk about it anymore. It hurts so badly. For me, going against Rhea Ripley nowadays feels like I'm going against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Like, that's how much it hurts my soul. And you guys know how much I hate going against those guys. Like, it just absolutely breaks me internally. But
you don't like Seth?
It just hurts. Anyway, let's go. Let's keep with the women, and we've got Bayley versus Nia Jax for the women's championship. Now, I think we'll go with Reese for this one. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
I will be genuinely shocked if Nia doesn't win this match. I think it will be a massive waste of time, not just for the Queen of the Ring, but for Nia Jax as a whole. Like, the work that she's put in since she's come back late last year. I think she's won a lot of people over, me included. I've been on the Nia train since late last year, as you guys know. I think I was one of the first people on this podcast to actually go, Nia's doing really good work. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah. Like, there was a point in time where like she was having a good couple of matches in a row, and then mic work like improved immensely, and I was like, I'm not hating this anymore. And like, it's weird to say, but ever since Elimination Chamber, especially, she's been putting in a great shift every single time she's on screen. I think this whole Queen Nia thing with Tiffany Stratton's quite interesting. I'm interested to see where they're going to take this into 2025 if it lasts that long. Bayley, for me, I love the Yummy Mummy. She's my queen. I love her to bits, but she hasn't had the best title run. I think it's been lackluster at best. It's been so lackluster, and like I say, lackluster would be a compliment for how well this title reign has gone. I can't even remember a match where she's defended the championship. I can't even remember a time when I was invested since she won the title. Again, breaks my heart to say, but it's true. And I think the way you do this is maybe take Bayley off screen for a little bit, give it to Nia Jax. Nia Jax, like I say, can run with this championship. You've got a heel at the top of the SmackDown card as women's champion. I'm down for a Nia title run. I think it's time. I think she deserves it. I think she's definitely earned it since she's come back. So I'm going with Nia.
I agree. Keaton, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think it would make a lot more sense now, just especially with the Tiffy stuff, to put the title on Nia. Like he says, it has been a shame that Bayley's run hasn't been as good as I thought it was going to be. I think that there's certain people to blame for that, but we won't speak about that. But yeah, I think it's time now. Yeah, give her some time away from screen. Everyone to kind of miss her again, to bring her back as that face that everyone wants. And like you says, Nia has the opportunity at the top to then run through people. I think you're definitely going to get Jade and Bianca. I don't think they're going to win the titles, and I think they're going to end up splitting up, which means they both free them on that roster as well. So you got Nia against them as well, so you can easily have a run through a bit. But do I think there's a potential that Tiffy could cash in on Nia on the night? There is that potential. There is that potential. Like she has that tough match. She comes in, kind of celebrate. Nia turns around, Tiffy in the back of the head with the briefcase that Nia's got, especially. You know what I mean? Gets Nia like in a different way. But
it could happen.
It could happen. It would be the perfect betrayal. It would be. It would be the perfect.
We're in a very unique situation here because I don't think we've ever done the whole angle of my best friend's the Money in the Bank contract holder and I'm the champion before. I don't remember that happening.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about that when I get ready.
Tiffany telling Nia that she's not going to cash in on her, but Nia's still in that doubt that whether she will or not. I like that. I do like that.
At least we all know what the L stands for in BBL Bailey.
Oh, hey. hey. Right, G, what are your thoughts?
I'm the Nia train with this one. You know, Bailey is my absolute queen. I love her to bits. I was so excited for her when she won. I put up with some shit on TikTok for that girl.
We both did.
We did. And then WWE completely fumbled her entire title run. Like, I thought they were going to give her the absolute flowers for this title run because of her last championship run was during COVID, so she never got what she needed. And I really, really did. I'm getting a bit upset, like, thinking about it. It really, really did, like, upset me that they've completely fucked her entire title reign this time. And I'm so upset about it. But I think, as everybody else has said, it's only right that Nia wins now and we take Bailey off, give her some time away, give a chance for people to miss her and come back, and let's have a great run with her again then. So, Nia for me.
I agree. Ross?
Nia in this situation, but in the spirit of SummerSlam and some unfinished business, I think someone else is going to return once Nia wins. Nia will start having her celebration moment. We will see Tiff look like she is going to try and sneakily cash in. And then certain music hits of I feel like this is the chance Becky could come back out of the
No, that's what I thought you were going to say. I didn't think you were going to say that.
Yeah, no, because think about it. She has unfinished business not only with Tiffany, but also with Nia because of the stuff when... I'm just putting it into perspective. It could happen.
No,
she's returned to SummerSlam before.
I think you're onto something. I think that's definitely plausible. I think it could happen.
That's a pop of the night, or you know, the betrayal happens. I still see the potential of Tiffany same night cashing, and I think what Keaton said perfectly there. Nia said she was going to get her the briefcase. What if she goes on this SmackDown? He's like, here's the new briefcase. You can come out with it looking all nice when we both walk down at SummerSlam.
I've got a better idea. Nia wins, and then someone brings out the briefcase for Nia to present to Tiffany as she's won. Tiffany goes, "Now fuck it," and just cashes it in on her. That'd be good.
I would go a step further than that. If we're going down that road, I've got something even better. So Nia gives the Money in the Bank briefcase to Tiffany on Friday. Tiffany goes to cash in on Nia, says, you know, screw it, hits her in the back of the head with the briefcase. She goes to cash in, and the briefcase is empty. There's nothing in there. There's no contract. Nia didn't put the contract back in there.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
She can't cash in. She's shown her true colours, and Nia's outsmarted her. There you go.
That'd be fun.
There is obviously you could still think of one person to come back as well. There is still that one person that denying factor.
Of course, Charlotte.
That's what I was gonna say. I think we see the return of Charlotte.
Charlotte is another name for sure. That could
because not only does that set up Charlotte and Nia, but it also sets up Charlotte and Tiffany, which I personally think that's a really great WrestleMania match. That's a passing of the torch moment. I know that Charlotte wants it. I know that Tiffany wants it. Like,
I'd personally place, if Charlotte was returning, I'd personally place her in the Rhea Liv scenario more than anyone.
No. There's no need for
I
it
love
to
how
be
you're
in
all
that
saying no,
scenario.
like you didn't, like we didn't all enjoy Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania and say
Yeah,
it was
but at
actually
the
one of the better
moment, she's
matches.
feuding with Liv, so there's no need for her to be in that situation.
Yeah.
You say
It's a good idea, but you're inserting something
It's
into
time
a situation.
It's time for G shits on Ross's idea.
Well,
yeah, like
Yeah.
every fucking podcast
But
episode.
I'm right though.
You're
I'm
not
right
though.
though.
You're not though.
Anyway, I personally think I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. Nia's going to win. I think we might see the return of Charlotte Flair. I don't want Tiffany to cash in. I really don't, because I want WWE to break the mold with the women's division of them not having the the briefcase for like less than a month. I want her to hold it for a long time. If you're going to give her a pink briefcase, how much money do you think you're going to make from that? Because little girls will want that pink briefcase, right? I would love to see maybe even her be the first woman at WrestleMania to cash in, because we have not had a woman cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase at Mania. Could you imagine if they had a match, maybe like a Nia versus Charlotte at Mania, for example, and Tiffany cashes in and makes it a triple threat? Because that's how you can rerun Charlotte and Tiffany at Backlash or something.
Yeah.
If Charlotte
That would be nice. That would be really nice. I think
just
in general, in terms of the story as well, I think it's too soon.
It needs to. I really want it to cook for a little bit longer, and I think as we say, we have not seen the storyline within the women's division of my best friend is the Money in the Bank holder, so be careful. I just think this has a lot more legs to it than what we're giving it, and I can understand why people want her to cash in at SummerSlam, but I think it's too soon. I genuinely think it's way too soon. Way too soon. Even have a moment where they win the tag titles together, but Tiffany's still holding that briefcase, because we had that with Damian as well. So it's not like it can't happen. I'm excited for this match. I think, Nia definitely has proven herself a lot since she's been back, not only in promos, but in her in-ring capabilities, and just what she's been doing has been really good within the division. I am really sad about the whole Bayley thing. I do think them not including her on posters, them not mentioning her not doing interviews, a lot of that thing. I feel like our expectations have not been met with her title run, and it just makes me really sad, because we all know how long we waited for that. And I mean, she's been vocal about it herself too, but it just, it is what it is. I think we can move on. We've got 3 matches left, so let's move on to Damian Priest and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think I've spiced the order up enough as it is, so would anybody like to go first and put their predictions out there for this one? Set the tone, maybe? Right, Reese, off you go.
So it connects to what I was saying with Liv versus Rhea. I think the fact that I've got a theory of Dom is turning on Rhea in the women's championship match. She's so annoyed that Dom has screwed her out of the championship. She goes to the back, and against Damian Priest's wishes, she says, no. You're going to have the boys out there to back you up, because, nothing's going to go wrong this time. You're not going to get screwed out of the championship. Again, against Damian Priest's wishes. Okay, fine, he thinks it's safe, and I think it's going to be Finn who's going to cost him the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that there's going to be a ref bump, most likely going to be a ref bump. I don't think Gunther needs an excuse to win the championship, but I think this provides Damian Priest with an excuse as to why he lost, to keep him strong. So, like referee bump, like I said, you got the whole Judgment Day there, cheering Damian Priest on. Finn is on the other side, maybe as he goes for the South of Heaven. I don't know, kicks him in the back of the head or something, hits him with the championship. I don't know. It hits him with Carlito's PS5. Screw it.
Throws an apple at him.
Throws an apple at, and then Gunther gets the 1, 2, 3. And I think maybe you get like a kind of like the Bloodline, kind of maybe like a Judgment Day in internal war. Maybe Carlito joins Finn Balor. Who knows? Because obviously Damian and Rhea try to push him out of this Judgment Day. Maybe we're getting like a Dom, Finn, Carlito,
and JD combo.
I think it'd be cool if you left with just Damian and Rhea in the original Judgment Day, because them two are like thick as thieves, the Poison Twins, and I just think it'd be an interesting little wrinkle in the Judgment Day. So I'm gonna go with Gunther to win.
Fair
It's such a coin toss for me because I've been really enjoying Damian Priest's run, but it's a talent like Gunther, and Gunther has been born and bred for the World Championship. So I gotta give it Gunther. I can't not see. You don't drop an iconic IC title run like that to not then get main title picture. So
true.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
agree
when at the end of that, kind of stop talking. You're just like, very good.
Anyone else?
Keaton, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you were to ask this a month, 5 weeks ago, I would have had Gunther, no problem. No problem like whatsoever with her. And like Ross was saying, I'm really liking Damian Priest's run at the moment, especially with the whole Judgment Day shenanigans and stuff like that. But with how Gunther has done and what he has done in the last year to 2 years, you can't not give him the title. Yeah. I'm sorry, you just can't do it, even though like it makes sense for Damian to keep it with all the whole Judgment Day things. You just can't. I think it's now Gunther's time to take the division into a whole new different level. And I think with that, yeah, you may, like you said, you maybe get the Dom shenanigans. I think you probably have Dom turn on Rhea on that night, and then the boys are all out helping Damian win when they come back in, and then poke their heads back into the arena, and then that splits everyone, and everyone's going haywire, and then one of them makes a decision, or just in a sense, Damian just gets distracted because they're all out there, and that's it. Then Gunther beats him 1, 2, 3. Yeah, for me, that's where it's going to end up going. It's a shame. It's
a difficult situation, isn't it? Like, because you've got Gunther here, who really doesn't need any help to win the world title. I feel like he could legitimately just win it by himself. But at the same time, you've got this whole Judgment Day storyline intertwined, and it has to come to a head at SummerSlam. So yeah, Keaton, like, honestly, dude, it's difficult to say. Like you say, it's hard not to bet against Gunther. But also at the same time, Triple H loves Damian, and like I think he's done a great job with the world title. So this gives him like a good enough excuse to like stay like around the main event scene, like, but drop the title. Sorry to piggyback off your point there, dude, but yeah.
Nah, of course, not good. And I think you could maybe have the whole them turn against them, and then maybe down the line, if you keep them abouts with Rhea and Damian, they do a rebuild. It's a whole rebuild of the Judgment Day. They pick the people in, who they want, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
potential that, but just maybe down the line. But yeah, Gunther for me.
Nice. G, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much the same as what everybody else has already said. I think Gunther's going to win. I think it'd be a waste of the King of the Ring opportunity if not. I don't really have much else to say what other people haven't already said, so yeah, I'll just keep it short. Gunther to win.
I agree. You guys have echoed a lot of what I've said. I've really enjoyed Damian Priest's title run. I've been somebody who's been very vocal on the internet about shut the fuck up and let it actually happen, because some people like to continually say that Damian can't do this, he can't do this, he's a paper champion, transitional champion. So I feel as though I've had to kind of tell a lot of people, actually, just let the man do his thing. As you say, I feel like it'd be a waste of the King of the Ring opportunity if Gunther does not win. I feel like he's born and bred for that title. A lot of these matches on the SummerSlam card feel like foregone conclusions for me, but that's fine. I feel like that's maybe how it feels when a whole entire story kind of culminates and comes to the end. So I definitely think we see Gunther win the championship clean in terms of like he's done it on his own. But I think we are going to see some interference from the Judgment Day potentially within this match.
I can't wait for this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I know we're not at the end yet, but I actually cannot wait for this pay-per-view.
I think they've all been booked really well storyline-wise. Like, I just think all of these matches, they have a reason for being on the card. There's a story behind every single one of them, and I think that's the one thing that I'm really enjoying about, talking with you guys about these predictions is sometimes matches will be on the card and we'll be like, oh yeah, this is what I want. But like with all of these, there's actually a much deeper story to it than what we see at a surface level. So I'm going to save my favorite match on this card till the very end. So we're going to go to Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa for the undisputed title. Maybe we start with our resident bloodline associate. We'll go with Reese first for this one.
Okay. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Like I know that sounds a bit weird, but like in terms of bloodline conversation, I think I've said a lot about this match on different episodes of the podcast heading up to it. So like, not really much I can add to it. I'm gonna go with Cody. I think it's a foregone conclusion, like that Cody is going to win this match, 100%. But the way that he's going to win this match, what's going to happen after this match is going to he's going to be the most important part. I do think once again Cody Rhodes' title run has been a bit lackluster, and I also think that for some reason he needs help to win every single time. Still, even though he's supposed to be the guy who defeated Roman Reigns. I think Jimmy is going to interfere in this match. I think Jimmy's going to cost Solo the match, and I think as like the bloodliner in the ring, about to beat Cody and Jimmy down, or like they get the advantage while they're just like dead annoyed in the ring. I think you're going to hear Roman Reigns' music hit after the match. I don't think there's going to be any confrontation. I don't think there's going to be any fist flying between Solo and anything like that. I think it might even be a case of just Roman and Paul Heyman like stood at the top of the ramp, and then Solo just like sort of.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, I think that would be unbelievable.
Is this match main event? It is, isn't it?
It should be. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
You would think so.
I just whispered to myself, it shouldn't be, but I'm joking.
It definitely should be. I think that's what needs to happen. Like I say, Jimmy's been gone. He's going to be one of the pieces to the original Bloodline puzzle when it comes to the Civil War. I think this is a perfect way of bringing him back, getting revenge on his brother who threw him out of the Bloodline in the first place. You've already got the rest of the Bloodline boys there. I don't know how you're going to take them out of the equation and how Jimmy's going to cost Solo while they're all stood there. But I'm not a booker, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just telling you what I want to happen. And yeah, I think the night has to end with Solo staring down Roman, or vice versa, whatever, like at some point. But yeah, Cody Rhodes to win. Not my favorite person in the world. Don't really care about him, but he's retaining the championship.
Fair enough. G, thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much what Reese has just said. I think Cody's going to win. I never really had Solo as one to win this match, but I just feel like it is going to be a perfect match for Roman to come back with Paul Heyman and Jimmy. Obviously, now we've just had the announcement for the Survivor Series War Game, and we know everybody wants the Bloodline Civil War at that. So I feel like now would be a great amount of time, because what are we, August, September,
It's in November.
like 4 months, a decent amount of time for them to build up to that Bloodline Civil War. So yeah, I'm Cody to win, Roman to return, and very excited.
Nice. Ross?
I'm very much the same as everyone else here, that it's Cody retain more than anything in these situations. I do kind of agree on the same of saying Roman returning, but the way I kind of see that happening and how Solo is going to lose this situation, Solo is about to hit his finisher of the Samoan spike. And as he goes to do the swing, all you hear is coming from the ramp, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman."
Like
Completely distract Solo, like, what the hell? We've took you, like, Solo will then be like, right, send the rest of the Samoans to go grab Heyman, and you'll just see Jimmy come out, defend, and then Roman will just also come out from the corner, and it'll just be a stare down of, do we fight or not?
Fair enough.
Yeah, man.
I like that.
Same.
So you've got Cody to retain?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Keaton? You sound really disappointed.
No. It's like, don't get me wrong, in another world, you have the Tongans winning the titles, and then you have Solo taking the title from Cody.
Oh, I agree, dude. Don't like it hurt me to say Cody. It hurt me to say Cody there.
Yeah, in a perfect world, that's what I get, but unfortunately, it's not a perfect world. Yeah, I think Cody does win. I think you probably do get the Roman return as well. I know a lot of people are aiming towards maybe Sammy for this whole War Games thing. I don't think you get Sammy. I think there is potential. I think I've spoken to Ross about this, where there's a certain member of the current new bloodline that's not there for Solo.
We spoke about this.
I don't know, obviously you might have spoken about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think Jacob Fatu's there for your boy. I think he's there for Roman and Roman alone. And then
how dare you
intersect, and then you intersect. Everyone's in haywire thinking, oh, it's all over. Then Solo intersects the big man, Hikuleo, who has recently signed as well.
7-foot giant.
Oh no!
As the heavy.
Oh,
and then
no.
there's just Survivor Series War Games.
However, the tongue and choke slammer himself, Hikuleo, man.
Right, the Gorillas of Destiny. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, man. God in full swing.
But yeah, I think going off it, Cody wins, and like he says, I think Heyman definitely has something to do with it as well. Especially with how they writ off Heyman so easily.
Exactly.
There's no way Heyman's gonna let that fly.
No,
and I think
he did fly. He flew.
Oh he flew.
He flew.
It's my turn to fly.
I think you get something teased on Friday as well, in regards to a potential Jimmy, or even maybe a potential Jay. You don't know, but I think it might be a bit too early to intersect Jay into this situation.
Can I just say something? Can I just jump on this for a second? Right, WWE needs to stop doing this, right? And it's kind of annoying me because we know it's going to happen, but we don't need you to say it. And what I mean by it is Solo, he's talking like that, like I'm the new tribal chief. And Roman Reigns is never coming back. And it's like, Solo, stop saying it. It's like saying Joe Hendry. He's like, come on, stop saying and Roman Reigns is never come back. That's not convincing me that he's never coming back. That means he's definitely coming back. Stop saying it. Just don't say his name, because then it makes it more better.
I've just got something really funny that's popped in my head. So it's SummerSlam. It's main eventing. And we're obviously thinking, who's going to return? And we hear the whole say his name and he appears. The crowd freaks out because they think it's Joe Hendry. But they change the lyrics to Joe and away. And everyone's like, who the fuck's Joe and away?
And instead of the clap, it's just, ooh, wow. They love me, a Samoa, a Samoa, a Samoa.
Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, my cousin is the Rock.
Wow.
Mentioning the Rock, though, that could be another person that rocks up for this.
No.
Oh God!
Fuck out of here,
the Rock.
Maui. Get lost, Maui.
Hey!
How dare you?
Just because we know you don't like him ever since he was in the Tooth Fairy, leave him alone.
No, I hate him for genuine reason these days. Actually hate him.
That was some of his best work. What you on about?
But what can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, but also he deserves an Oscar for almost taking away Cody's moment and then trying to flip the script, being like, I said we should do... No, you didn't.
What are you on about? That's the greatest thing that's ever happened in WWE. That was nearly my favourite moment of the year until Cody has to ruin it.
It was all him. No influence. About. All right.
Don't try. Don't.
He knew it straight away.
He is a genius, an absolute genius. The way he worked us, brother.
So the Rock sat down and went, right, Vince, do the Montreal screw job. And ever since then, Rock has planned everything since the screw job and telling you there's a huge conspiracy.
He's a genius.
He's a genius.
Can I just give you my prediction and my theory, please?
Yeah.
No. Unless it includes The Rock. Let's move on.
It includes me throwing a rock at your head. So, Cody Rhodes is winning, but
this week.
Depending on the order of this, if we have Damian the Punk and Drew match before this one thing I would love to see, right? Because you know how we've been seeing, the whole Randy and KO coming to help Cody. I would love to see Paul Heyman come out and make an announcement and reunite all of the Heyman guys. So you've got your Punk, you've got your Roman, you've got your Brock, and they come out and they help Cody. I feel like that could be cool. That could be cool.
No, thank you.
Nah, I'm alright.
What about Balls Mahoney?
Now I know how it feels to be Ross to have my ideas shat on all the time.
What about like Balls Mahoney and like Just Incredible and all that? Like, can they come out?
That's some bullshit. Right. I'm ignoring that because let's get into this last one. I don't care.
Well, you were Cody to win.
What about Rhino? What about hang on? What about Mikey Whipwreck? Can he come out? Like,
dude, we still have one more match. Can we just get this done? I feel like we've been talking for ages, brother.
Plot twist. Shane Douglas comes out and helps Roman.
Waiting.
Right.
Taz with the Tazmission on Solo.
And we can't even get rid of them either because the other person who's feeding into it is the one that owns the link of the stream.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Who's that coming through the crowd? Rhino? What are you doing here?
Guys, honestly, if you don't shut up, I'm going to leave. I actually have somewhere I need to be, so I'm trying to get this podcast done.
I'm sorry. Right, go on.
Right, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth freaking Rollins as the special guest referee.
Boo.
All right, you don't get to give your prediction then.
Unnecessary. So unnecessary.
Yeah, I'll obviously I'll be short and sweet with this one. I want Drew McIntyre to kick CM Punk's face off multiple times. And I want Seth to do it as well as a massive FU to CM Punk and the fact that you've come back. Yep,
nice.
That's it. Cheers.
Very good. All right, G.
Mic drop.
Thoughts, G?
Yay.
Okay, cool. All right, that's all she needs to say. Are you going to say anything else, or can we just move on?
I can't bet against him. I can't bet against him. CM Punk to win because he's the best in the world, and you bloody know it. And I genuinely think that we're gonna see someone come out to help CM Punk because obviously we've got Drew versus Punk with Seth as guest ref, and Seth is obviously going to side with Drew and help Drew in this situation. So I feel like someone is going to come to help Punk, but I don't know who.
More Paul Heyman, guys. The Yeti, what are you doing here?
Oh my god.
But yeah, I've got Punk to win.
Yeah. I think because of how many matches are on this card, I think this is why this episode is so long, and I'm actually like over it. So, Reese.
Hello, yeah.
Get on with it.
Right, first of all, I would just like to say I totally do not agree with Seth being in this match. I don't think it needed him. I thought there was already a lot of heat there. I didn't think it was necessary. I don't care that he's there. But with that being said, I do think we're probably going to be getting a Survivor... No, not Survivor Series, sorry. What was the match where it was Brett versus Undertaker and Shawn Michaels accidentally hit Brett with the chair? Or was it Taker with the chair and cost him the match? I think I'm going to be getting that. I think Seth is accidentally... It happened... It was the whole reason... It was the whole reason why we got the very first Hell in a Cell match with Michaels and Taker. I think Shawn Michaels cost the Undertaker a match against Bret Hart, and I can't remember what happened. But anyway, he did. Okay, this is where I'm going with this. I think Seth Rollins is accidentally going to hit CM Punk with a chair. I don't know, with something, whatever it is. It's going to cost him the match, and I think that's going to lead into CM Punk versus Seth Rollins because that's the thing that we wanted in the first place. Because it's been building up for It's been building up for ages, and it gets Drew out of this feud. I mean, I have loved this feud. Don't get me wrong, and I would even like it to go on even further. I mean, if I'm honest, screw it, make it a triple threat Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood, right? But I do think Drew needs this win because CM Punk has made him look like an absolute cook, for the rest, the whole of this year. So I think Drew does need a win, but I don't think CM Punk could lose his first match in 10 years without some controversy. So I think it has to be to do with Seth. Seth didn't mean to do it, but it's going to be Seth that cost him the match. So I'm going to go with Drew.
Yeah.
I think it's just sorry if we just piggyback off that, I think it also, with the Seth introduction, we'll go back. Do you remember? I think it's Survivor Series 2010, when Cena was special ref for Wade Barrett, Randy Orton.
Yes.
He was a ref, and he like pushed him or slapped him, was like, "Can't touch me," and then he spun around and then did it to the other person. I think you're gonna have that Seth type of in it as well, to sort of say like, "Look, you cross the line, I'm gonna smack you, and you're gonna get it." And I think you could, like you mentioned, I think it could build off that like CM Punk does something to sort of trigger it, and that's where he does off that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. Anyway, that CM Punk gets his head kicked off. I want Drew to win. I do love Punk. But I want Drew to win really badly.
Russ, what are your thoughts?
Fragile Philip needs to get put down with a claymore in 1, 2, 3. I mean, I'm sorry, Drew has done the God's work, longevity in a champion like Drew. The whole heel stuff he has done has been perfect, and I think CM Punk is better being that underdog guy again. Of you guys all love me. I've came back here. I need to build myself back up. Because not being funny, he's had the Royal Rumble. He nearly won that, lost because of injury, and he's now being thrown straight into a feud with the repercussions of potentially leading to title picture scenarios later on.
Good.
I think Drew is the better contender in that scenario. I don't really see CM Punk benefiting from beating Drew, other than saying, I beat Drew, I stopped him being a dick to me. Because even if that happens, even if Punk wins, Drew's not going to stop being a dick about it to him. I feel like if Drew wins, he'll maybe lay off Punk a bit, kind of put Punk in the back seat, leading to Drew and Seth, and then that's when CM Punk will strike. He'll be the opportunist, knowing, oh, you took your mind off me? Yeah, I didn't forget. So, yeah, for me, I want Drew to win this scenario just because I think there's more story potential in CM Punk losing. I know what everyone's going to say and what Reese said. It's 10 years plus. It's his first singles WWE match. It's on pay-per-view. It's very good. It's going to be very difficult for him to not win this match. But personally, I think that shouldn't come into factor when it comes to the storyline potential telling, and I think there is more to gain from Punk losing than him winning.
Can I just quickly piggyback on one of your points that you just made there about Drew actually winning? It actually works in the favor of maybe going towards a triple threat match at Bad Blood, because like obviously you've got CM Punk losing there, which is fine because Seth Rollins might cost him the match, but Drew McIntyre also said to Seth that he doesn't want any help, and he might consider Seth hating Punk as help. So that would mean both of them have a problem with Seth. So that would lead into like more of a triple threat rivalry. I would quite love to see that Hell in a Cell match now that I've said it.
I also think Seth is going to be more of a bend the Raw type of character. I think if, say, Drew goes for a chair against Punk, he's going to be like, didn't see it. And then if Punk goes to, and I could see scenarios where Punk goes to do something like that, and Seth's like, no, can't do that. Throw the chair away, or you're DQ'd. I can see scenarios like that play out where if it's Punk being injured, he's going to be like, yeah, let it fly. Whereas if it goes to happen to Drew, he's going to be like, can't do that.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's going to play sides for sure.
Yeah.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I think a lot of what you guys have said is true. I think one person comes out the victor and then it ends up pushing this into a triple threat at Bad Blood. Personally, I think Drew McIntyre is winning this one. And I hate also betting against CM Punk. I really do. But I do feel like it'll be a case of one person wins one match, another person wins another match, and then they have a rubber match to decide.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I don't think after SummerSlam this is done. I think because of how intense and how deep the tension is and the hatred between both of them, I do think that we are going to see this feud continue on throughout 2024. And I'm absolutely fizzing for this. I'm like a Mentos going into a Diet Cola. Like, I'm actually so fucking excited for this match. Like, genuinely. I said that on my Instagram story yesterday. This is literally like the match for me. I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited. And just, having Rollins there, like, while I don't agree with it, I do think it's going to help push the feud further. And I think they want to try and do that. So fingers crossed it's a good match.
I'd love if the feud were like going into Bad Blood and stuff. They actually use like rule stipulations as well. I'd love for Punk to go kind of like a full circle moment of like how he did with MJF. I'd love to see a dog collar match come back and them two go full at it. Especially because now WWE has openly admitted PG era stuff is slowly going to go away more and more, especially leaning into 2025 with being Netflix. Yeah. They can get away with those stipulations and those matches a lot more. And I think that'd be a really cool thing to explore is, could we do a dog collar match again?
Yeah. So those are all the matches that are on the card. I think we kind of normally, whenever we do these podcasts, we always leave like specific moments and returns till the very end. But I feel like we've done a really great job at covering people that we want to see, moments that we want to see happen. So does anyone else have anything that they want to say in regards to the SummerSlam show before we sign off?
I don't really have anything to say, really. I've said all my points, but I'm pretty gutted that I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it live because I'm going to be watching it in the morning with some friends because they're not able to stay up in the night. So I might have to wait to watch it, which is a shame. But I'm going to have to stay off social media.
It's like the best thing for you to do if you cannot watch a PLE live. Like I've had to do that the last couple of times, and honestly, like, it's been so good if you can stay off, because then it's like you are watching it live for the first time without seeing anything that's happened.
Yes,
which is good. Yeah,
I agree.
I was going to say, for me, it's arguably one of the strongest booked, like, storyline wise. Like, I think this is kind of like resurfaced for me as, okay, I'm very happy with this, because I'm not going to lie, Money in the Bank hit some really disappointing points for me. Like, we all spoke about it very openly, so I am just going to state it. The men's cash-in same night, and who they used it were. We've always said about how Money in the Bank is meant to elevate talent. I feel SummerSlam has now paid that off, where a lot of the talent is getting that big final oomph to wrap it up this year and things like that. I can see a lot of, after SummerSlam, new champions paving going forward into obviously Rumble and everything like that coming up as well. And Bad Blood is looking more and more interesting because, as you've rightfully said, I think rubber matches have a lot more potential, especially in Bad Blood. It gives me, it kind of gives me the old vibes Hell in a Cell used to have, whereas the old Hell in a Cell pay-per-views were, and the like old Hell in a Cell matches were the very end of a feud. It wasn't just to have them in a cage to have a match. It was, we've been feuding, we've had constant fights. Right, there's nowhere else we can go. Hell in a Cell. I feel like Bad Blood is very much giving that energy again, and I hope that's how they book it. But yeah, I'm really excited for SummerSlam. I think it's one of the stronger pay-per-views of this year.
Yeah, I think it's been really well booked, and I also think this is a really great opportunity to hit like a hard reset on a lot of the division, not just the men's, but also the women's as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a really great time to shake it up, get some new champions in, and start some new feuds. Honestly,
I agree.
Yeah,
cool.
100%. Like I said,
Anybody else have anything to add? Sorry, Keaton, I just cut you off there.
Nah, that's fine. I was going to say, I think it is the strongest pay-per-view we've had all year, personally.
Yeah, it's
good.
Might be the strongest SummerSlam that we've had in a while as well.
Yeah,
yes,
and I think it's the most excited I've been going into a pay-per-view. Like, with all the possibilities that could come out, or the fact that you can't, even though we've obviously done and we've signed a says who could actually win, there is that potential they could just pull the 180s on every single match. There's no there's no proper dead certs. So I'm very looking forward to SummerSlam this weekend.
Yeah, like there's no for certain who's actually going to win. Like, you can make a case for both people in the matches winning, which I think is what you really want. You want it to be that tight and that close that either of them could win. And I think sometimes if a match is a foregone conclusion, I think sometimes that takes the wind out of your sails when it comes to like the excitement and the intrigue and the build up, and like letting your like suspending your disbelief within the match as well too. So
I love it when a match has to opponents, and you literally can't guess who's going to win. That the build-up to the story is that good.
It's that good.
Yeah.
It's what all wrestling should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. Alrighty. If no one else has got anything to add, Reese, would you like to do what you do best and outro us?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, with this heat and this humid, it's only fitting that we're getting the biggest party of the summer coming up on the weekend. So make sure you stay tuned for that, plus all the content that we put out this week. We have got Monday Night Raw review from Courtney that came out on Tuesday. Make sure you check that out. Unfortunately, there's no Great American Bash Part 1 NXT review for me because I had a hospital appointment. So that will be coming out either tomorrow or I'll just maybe like wrap it all up for you next week, whatever you prefer. I don't know. I'll have a little think about that. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you also stay tuned for the Friday Night SmackDown review coming on Saturday morning, either from Gio Ross. That's going to be great. And then we got some SummerSlam content coming up for you guys. We all can't wait for it. Let us know what the favorite match in the comments that you think is going to steal the show. But for now, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your week. Let's get hyped for SummerSlam. Let's get hyped for all the titles that are going to be possibly changing hands. Peace out.
Deuces.